I went off to the hospital to go and visit my mum. She just turned in a bad way. We were called the night before by the doctors to say, of all the patients in the hospital, she's out of the 42 that they had in that ward, the special care unit ward, she was in the worst condition, and they didn't think that she would make it through the night. And I found myself going back to her and just holding her hand. And in that moment, I found it was almost like my spirit started to pray and I wasn't praying. It wasn't like I was thinking to myself, oh, I need to pray for healing. I need to start with deliverance. I need to start speaking out health and rebuking the devil. Those are the normal things which we find in our Christianese language, in the way in which we've been brought up. And I think God has a different way. As I held her hand, I just felt, for the first time, something slightly different that I hadn't experienced before. I felt it was like my spirit started to pray, and I wasn't part of the process in a mental capacity. I was observing what was happening in the background, but I wasn't actually praying. It wasn't like I had words going through my mind, but I was conscious that I had this connection, this spirit connection taking place, which was different for me. It was the first time I'd experienced something like this, and I just felt my spirit was suddenly connecting with God's spirit while I held her hand. And it was almost as though, like where Jesus said he was walking through the throngs of the crowds and he felt somebody touch the hem of his garment, and he felt power going through him into this person. It was reminiscent for me of that type of story, where just as I held her hand, I could feel my spirit was engaging, and I wasn't praying from my head, but I was praying from the spirit, and the spirit was moving and taking care of the circumstance. I must have held her hand for about 5 minutes, and I was just quiet and I allowed my spirit to do what it was supposed to do, without asking any questions, without saying anything. And as you can bear testimony, she made it through the night, completely unexpected. Not only did she make it through the night, but she slowly but surely started to progress until the point where she was getting ready for release. Now, I heard that, I gave you that story, and that in itself is a story which is relevant of writing a book on. But shortly after that, I was going to visit her again for the next time. Busy getting ready at home, busy getting dressed, preparing myself, looking for my keys, all those kind of things. And as I'm busy getting ready to leave, I get the sense, again, where my spirit starts to pray, and I get this thought going through my spirit, Lord, receive her into your arms. And I thought to myself, no, Mom's doing so much better. This is coming left field. You know, it seems to be out of place. And I kept thinking to myself, but Mom's getting better. I'm going to go and visit Mom. We're actually looking to get her discharged. And yet I've got this deep sense in my spirit, like my spirit again was praying and I wasn't praying. And it was saying, Lord, receive her into your arms. And I get the song that goes through my mind, this Simon and Garfunkel song. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than he will know. And the song keeps going through my mind over and over again. And I'm driving all the way through to the hospital. And when I get to the hospital, I can see Mom is okay. And Mom says to me, the lady across there has just passed away. Oh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And when I looked up on the board and I saw they normally have the patient's name written there, and her name was Mrs. Robinson. And she passed away at the very moment that my spirit started to pray for her. It was quite unique. It's those kind of examples where we can see God in the way in which He works through us are different to the way in which we are used to. And I think we need to become more in tune with knowing and understanding how He speaks to us, and so that we can flow in those. On the one hand, we think it's gifts of the Spirit, but I think we need to understand how we can flow in how He wants us to operate, because we're operating in His kingdom and we're operating according to His principles, and not in the way in which we were raised or brought up or led to believe. This is the way, do it like this. Count 3 things, walk 5 steps, stand up, sit down. Those things are man-made, and I think God's ways are different to our ways. The Bible is very clear. It says His ways are higher than our ways. We don't always understand it, but it just is like that. It's a different way of living, and I think we need to learn how to live in the way in which He has called us to live.